Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Forum for Practice of English, Arabic and ICT.
أهلا بكم في ندوة ممارسة اللغة الإنجليزية والعربية وتكنولوجيا المعلومات والاتصالات.
Turning desert into greenery, the story of growing flowers on stones. In a quiet riverside village nestled within Anwara Upazilla of Chattagang, Sadia was living a modest life with her husband Tariq and their 6-year-old son Habib. The village, once sprawling and vibrant, had steadily surrendered to the unrelenting erosion of the Karnaphuli river. It was Tariq's ancestral home, now a shadow of its former self, clinging to the edge of existence. One monsoon-drenched evening, the river's fury reached a devastating crescendo. It swallowed swaths of the land, including the very soil on which their home once stood. The family, dispossessed, stared into an uncertain future. Tariq, a man with modest education and a working knowledge of computer applications, managed to secure employment at a local computer shop. Yet, the paltry earnings barely sufficed. As despair grew, Tariq made the wrenching decision to seek fortune abroad. Selling off the last piece of inherited land, he fell into the snare of a broker who promised a seaborne passage to Malaysia at minimal cost, a desperate man's dream. Before departing, Tariq left Sadia and Habib in the care of Sadia's only brother, but the arrangement proved to be a trial of endurance. Sadia's sister-in-law, Runa, treated her with disdain and cruelty, barely offering food, let alone affection. Sadia bore the hardship in silence, clinging to the pedal sewing machine her late mother had once used, a relic of better times and a beacon of hope. Under a shroud of night, Tariq boarded an overcrowded engine boat from St. Martin's Island, bound for Malaysia. After 2 days at sea, the engine failed. The vessel drifted aimlessly in the merciless waters. Then came a storm, sudden, violent, and unyielding. The boat capsized. Amid the chaos, only 35 souls were rescued by nearby fishing vessels. Tariq was among the fortunate few, deposited on the shores of the distant Andaman Islands, alive but broken. Back in the village, Sadia's suffering deepened. Grief-stricken and alone, she turned to sewing, her only remaining skill. She began stitching women's garments for villagers, stitching away not just fabric, but her anguish. Then came a turning point. Marzana, a compassionate factory worker visiting during Eid, saw Sadia's plight and offered her a lifeline. She brought Sadia and Habib to Ghazipur. Thanks to Marzana's goodwill, Sadia was employed as a helper in a garments factory. Her mentor's guidance and her own diligence quickly elevated her. In 4 months, Sadia earned a promotion to operator. Her mastery of the Kansai belt joint process, producing 200 pieces an hour, became the talk of the factory floor. With her improved wages, she enrolled Habib in a nearby school. Life, though still fragile, began to regain color. Half a year later, Tariq returned, a gaunt man with haunted eyes, bearing the scars of survival. His arrival moved Mr. Hafiz, the factory's general manager, who was already familiar with Sadia's story. At her request, Hafiz offered Tariq a job as a peon. As time passed, Tariq yearned for dignity and progress. He reached out to his cousin Sufyan in Oman, who worked at an agricultural firm. Sufyan agreed to help. Meanwhile, Mr. Hafiz, ever supportive, arranged for Tariq to train in printing, embroidery, and vehicle maintenance, skills that could serve him abroad. Over 6 months, Tariq absorbed everything, determined to rewrite his fate. His dedication had not been unnoticed. During a critical emergency, when a $20,000 shipment was at risk, Tariq played a key role in ensuring the timely delivery of thousands of jackets by coordinating with his subcontract factory. His quiet heroism earned him respect from all quarters. At last, Tariq secured a visa to Oman. Armed with skills, machines, including a motorized Daichi embroidery unit, and boundless resolve, he embarked on a new chapter. In Salalah, he joined an agricultural firm and quickly proved invaluable. Drawing on past training and contacts in Bangladesh, he arranged for cost-effective seed imports. His initiative saved the company significant sums and earned their trust. Salala's fertile lands, lovingly tilled by hard-working Bangladeshi expatriates, inspired Tariq. Within 2 years, he leased 10 bighas of land and launched his own farm. He hired some Bangladeshi workers and expanded his enterprise to include auto parts imports and garment embroidery services. He created his own brand logo in Dholaikhal, Dhaka, and began importing auto parts and agricultural seeds from Bangladesh. In Oman, the seeds of different plants are very expensive. For example, the seeds of the red spinach costs some 10 riyals per kg, 1300 taka in Oman, whereas it is some 200 to 250 taka per kg in Bangladesh. Tariq's printing and embroidery business began to grow rapidly as many garment wholesalers in Oman continued placing orders with him to transform their plain, inexpensive garments into high-value items featuring eye-catching printed and embroidered designs. Tariq's ingenuity transformed hardship into a three-pronged business model: agro-farming, automotive supply, and garment value addition. Despite his success, the ghost of that fateful storm in the deep sea near the Andaman Island still visited him in the quiet hours. The memory of the capsized boat, of lives lost, never truly left him. Yet, from that darkness rose a man of quiet strength, resilient, compassionate, and fiercely determined to build a life worthy of the suffering he had endured.
To get your free copy of the book, click the first link in the description below or send an email. Thanks for watching.